Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ariel Carpenter. I am the Associate Director at the Office for International Students and Scholars, and I'm joined by my colleague and campus partner, Evelyn Real. Would you like to introduce yourself, Evelyn?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Evelyn Real. I serve as the director of the Office for International Student Engagement here at WashU. And I'm going to pass it back to Ariel. I will speak when she is done.
So again, thank you for joining us. We were asked by the Office of Student Transitions to have a conversation with our international parents about immigration as well as move-in. So as the representative for OISS, that's again the Office for International Students and Scholars, my team works with your students, your children, to issue the immigration documents to come to the US and study. So my presentation, I have a couple of slides to just go over the general process to receive what's called an I-20, which is what most students will be applying for, as well as updates about immigration. And then Evelyn will speak about the move-in process. So we're very happy and excited to be here. If you have any questions, throughout our presentation, you are welcome to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of the Zoom. We will be monitoring the chat while we're presenting, and then we'll also have time to answer those questions at the end of our presentation. So please don't hesitate in including your questions now. We may not be able to answer it though until the end of the presentation. So I'll get started so we have the full hour. So let's see. So again, my name is Ariel Carpenter. I'm the Associate Director, and I oversee our student services team, or our student advising team. We are led by Dr. Geet Van Eyck. She is our Executive Director. And then as a part of our operations team, we have members Rachel Krein and Mark Zajac. So for incoming students, you will likely be working with my team, who serves as student advisors. We will work with your children, your students, throughout their time here at WashU to ensure that they are following immigration regulations. And then Mark and Rachel's team is the team who is working very diligently to ensure that any request for an I-20 document, which is an immigration document needed to come to the US and study, Mark's and Rachel's team are working diligently to ensure that those documents are received by your students within 1 to 3 business days. So should you have any questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to any of us. I'll have our contact information on a later slide, but I just wanted to introduce you to some of the faces who are going to be working with your students, but who are currently working with your students. So, a very quick overview about the admissions process. For international students, they will work with their admitting department, admissions, to get their admissions decision and pay for their deposit. And once they've paid for their deposit, then the students will need to activate their WashU key and email. So if you are still working with your student and they have not received any notification from our team about receiving an I-20, they do need to activate their WashU key and email. But once they've done that process, they will receive an invitation email from OISS inviting them to the My OISS portal. And the My OISS portal is where they will be able to request an I-20, or a DS-2019 if they're an exchange student, but they will submit their application to us. We ask for passports, we ask for financial documentation, and if they're already studying here in the US, we'll ask for their current information in terms of visa status. So once they've uploaded all of their documents, our team, Mark, who I showed the picture of, Mark's team will be reviewing all of those applications within 3 business days. Because we are aware of how long it's taken for some of the U.S. embassies to schedule appointments, our goal is to ensure that we are getting you those documents as soon as possible. So within 3 business days, as long as the application was accurate, we're not missing any information, we will issue the immigration document called the I-20 or the DS-2019, and it will be uploaded into their My OISS portal. The My OISS portal is going to be available to students throughout their tenure here at WashU, so they will be able to access every I-20 and any other immigration document that we issue to them throughout their time at WashU. They'll be able to access that in My OISS. Once they receive the I-20, it is the student's responsibility to pay what's called the DS or to pay the CVIS I-901 fee and apply for a visa stamp. So they will be applying for an F1 visa stamp if they receive an I-20 or a J1 visa stamp if they receive a DS-2019. The visa stamp is what will allow them to come into the US. So again, we do recognize that a few of the U.S. embassies abroad, their interview time or wait time has been extended. So again, that's why we're doing our best to make sure that you all have the I-20s and DS-2019s as soon as possible. But once a student has their applies for the visa stamp, they'll go to the U.S. Embassy, meet with a consular official to just discuss their intentions of receiving an F1 visa stamp and coming to the U.S. to earn their degree. If they've been approved, they will receive a visa stamp that's going to be included in their passport book. And they will use that document to enter into the US. They're going to attend orientation sessions, which Evelyn will talk more about. Their purpose here in the US is to attend classes and earn their bachelor's degree. So that is where my team will work with the students to make sure that during their process of just being an enrolled student, that they understand their F1 regulations, any of the benefits that come with it. And then OISS is a final step. We will register their CVIS record, which is their immigration record. We will register them to show the US government that they are here in the US, that they are enrolled full-time, and that they are officially making progress on their degree. So that is a very brief, very fast overview of what the admissions process looks like. So depending on where your student is in the process, they'll either be working with my team, the operations team, or they'll be working with Evelyn's team to ensure that they are prepared for their arrival. So again, if you have any questions about this process, feel free to add that question in the Q&A, and then Evelyn and I will be able to respond as we go along. This is a screenshot of what the My OISS portal looks like. So again, as soon as your student has been admitted to WashU and they've activated their WashU key and their email, they will receive an invitation to join the My OISS portal. And this is where they will submit their documentation to receive the immigration document, the I-20. I was also asked to provide a few government updates that are relevant to incoming students so that you are aware of depending on the country that you're from, um, what you may encounter. So there are a few travel and visa pauses and restrictions depending on certain countries. So there currently is a travel ban for students coming from particular countries, 39 countries in particular. And then there also are limited visa services or pauses if you are in the Middle East, South Sudan, Congo, and Uganda. So if you are a parent of a child or student who is from the impacted 39 countries or from any of these regions, please reach out to OISS directly, and we'll be able to better advise or help you prepare and understand potentially some of the delays that may occur. For all students who are applying for a visa stamp, it is important to know that there are enhanced social media vetting at the Department of State. So on the DS 160, which is the application for your visa stamp, students have to list every single social media account. And this goes for those that have been active in the last 5 years or inactive deleted accounts. So even if they're not using it anymore, if it was active in the last 5 years, it is their responsibility to list this in their DS 160. If a student doesn't have and has never had social media before, there should be ways in which they can account for that. But please have them reach out to our team so that we can help them prepare for this. There is an assumption that all students, all of this new generation has a social media account, but we do understand that for some, they have not participated in this. But it is important to know that that is a new, it's not new necessarily, but it is something that has had a lot of attention in the last year. Um, if you are from Cameroon, Ghana, or Uganda, it's also important to know that there are visa reciprocity limits. So for most students, the visa stamp will have an expiration date of anywhere between 1 year to sometimes even 4 or 5 years, which means that a student can use that visa for multiple entries into the US for up to 1 to 5 years. But for these three countries, we wanted to highlight that their expiration date will always be 3 months. So it's very important that depending on when the visa stamp is issued, that we try to time your entry or arrival into the US, because depending on when you're issued the visa and when you enter the US, that may be the one shot you have before having to reapply for a visa stamp. And then the other note for all students is that many of the US embassies, especially now because this is their busy period, we have a number of incoming students who are applying for visa stamps, but we also have current students who are trying to renew their visas. Um, Students have to attend an interview at their country of nationality or residence. A couple of years ago, students were able to go to different countries like Canada, Thailand, Vietnam, whichever one was closer that had shorter visa interview wait periods. But recently that has changed. So all US embassies and consulates are advising applicants that they have to attend interviews in their country of nationality or their country of residence. So these are the most recent US updates that are related to incoming students. Again, if you have any questions, please add that into the Q&A and we'll be happy to respond. So the last couple of slides that I have, we offer two different webinars for incoming students that we want to make sure that you all are aware of. And you're welcome to join too. While this is particularly for students, we do have some parents who'd like to join just to ask some clarifying questions. So every Friday during the month of June, we are offering admitted student Q&A sessions. They're drop-in calls, so we don't have a presentation, but it's an opportunity for students if they have a question about the status of their I-20 request, if they have a question about their visa interview, if they have a question, really any question, even if it's not necessarily related to immigration, we will have members of our team who are there to help answer the questions for them. It's also a great opportunity for students to meet other students and hear like what questions they have. So it's a great learning opportunity. But this is offered every Friday morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. So I think it's well, it's this time actually. So this time every Friday morning. So please feel free to join us. I will add the link to this Q&A or our event calendar so that you can see the upcoming sessions. Another session that I want to highlight, especially if your student has not had their visa interview yet, we invite two attorneys who were former consular officials to come and host a webinar on how to have a successful, on tips on having a successful visa interview. They do a wonderful job in helping students better understand what are the questions that the consular official is looking for, um, or planning to ask, and what are some of the things they're looking for that may be either a red flag, meaning there's some concerns, or a green flag, meaning okay, this person seems to have the right intentions in coming into the US. So our next session is actually going to be next week on Wednesday at 9:30 Central Time in the morning. If you are able to join, I know that the time may be a little late for some, depending on what country you're in, but if you're able to join, this really is a great opportunity to learn from former consular officials. We have another session in July that is a little bit earlier, in case 9:30 is not a great time for you. So you're welcome to join both the Q&A that I mentioned earlier, as well as this webinar with former consular officials are free. So again, I will list the event calendar so that if you're interested in joining, you can definitely attend. And I will highlight this because towards the end of the session, they invite at least two, sometimes three students to do a mock interview. So they will ask questions that they have asked visa applicants in the past to help students understand and get a feel for what the interview can be like. So again, really encourage your students to join, especially if they have not had their visa interview yet. And even if they have had their visa interview and have questions, they're here to answer those as well. So I mentioned that I would provide our contact information. So you are welcome to contact, your students are welcome to contact us. We monitor this email every day, including nights and weekends for emergencies. So if you email us, you should be receiving a confirmation or a response of some sort within 24 hours. We really pride ourselves in being responsive and ensuring that you're not waiting long periods of time to get the answers that you need. We want to make sure that this process is as smooth and as easy as possible, but that you're prepared, that both you and your students are prepared. So please do not hesitate to contact us. We work every day, and we also have staff who are working on weekends and nights. And then here are some websites. I'll also provide this in the chat, but I believe we may be sharing these slides. I have to double check with our transitions office, but I will add these slides into the chat so that you can copy them. So I will pause so that Evelyn can share her screen, and then I'll answer some of the questions that came in through the Q&A.
Hi everyone, my name again is Evelyn Real, and I do see that there is a question in the chat. We will get to it at the end of my presentation because we may answer your question during the presentation. So I'm really here to talk about the difference between the Office for International Student Engagement, which is the team that I lead, and the Office for International Students and Scholars. Ariel kind of talked how her team does all of the immigration side of the house. We do all of the experience side of the house. So everything from getting students to the airport and acclimated to WashU, that is what my team and I focus on. And we focus on that on a regular basis also. Orientation is not the only thing that we do. We also we serve all of the undergrads, all of the graduate students through cultural programs and so much more. And we really try to foster those cross-cultural connections to expand the horizons and create unforgettable experiences for our international students while they are here at WashU. It's a unique model here at WashU. Not all offices have two separate teams that serve students in this capacity. So we are very excited and honored to be able to provide these services to students. So Moving on, this is my team. We are a much smaller team than OISS. This is my whole team. And if you will be joining us in August, please stop any one of these people that you see here on screen. Our entire job is to make sure that your students have a good experience and that you also have a good experience while you are here on campus. So it's me as a director, and then I've got three program coordinators who are helping to plan all of orientation for international students right now. So before arrival, some things to expect is your students will be receiving some contact or will be contacted by their WU guides. WU guide stands for Washington University Global Undergraduate International Development and Engagement Leaders. It's a really long name. You'll find that at WashU and most other universities. We use a lot of acronyms because we shorten the very long words. But they're just our orientation leaders, and they are separate from the WUSAs, which are through the transitions team. So our WU guides specifically help only international students and only the students participating in international orientation. They don't serve the general population. And a lot of them are actual current international students, ranging from sophomores all the way to graduate students who have experienced this orientation and have gone through all of the emotions and everything that is associated with coming to a different country. So they know exactly what they're talking about, and we truly rely on their experience as international students to create this program. So they typically will coordinate some meetings online to meet each other. Students are put in a group before they arrive, and it is our hope that they will join Zoom meetings and meet each other before they get here so that they already have friends when they arrive. What we ask from you as parents is to please encourage them to attend those events. They're great, and our students put a lot of work and emphasis into creating those events for the incoming students. Some important things to bring. Ariel kind of talked about them, but important documents. Bring your I-20, bring your passport, bring everything that you need for your student to be successful. Some prescription medication, we would strongly encourage you to, if your student has prescription medication that they need, definitely get them set up with at least 3 months worth of prescription medication so that when they get here, they have the amount that they need until they can get set up within our own system. And at our student health center, they do have a pharmacy at the same location on campus. They just have to bring their prescriptions with them. So just make sure that you bring at least 3 months worth until you can get fully set up here in the United States. Some weather appropriate clothing. um, the summer here is very, very hot, and the winter is very, very cold. We do have the opportunity for students to go shopping, but for the beginning, definitely wear some weather appropriate clothes, some comfortable walking shoes for you as you are coming and exploring WashU and St. Louis in general. You will be doing a lot of walking. Your students will be doing a lot of walking. It will be hot. And any personal items that they need to make their room feel like home, we would definitely encourage them to bring that as well. Don't worry about bringing large quantities of bedding and other household items. We will be taking students shopping so they can buy all of those things. We do take them shopping on the next day though. So if they can bring a small blanket and a pillow for that first night, then that is all we would encourage. You don't want to fill your suitcases up with a lot of bulky things. And typically bedding does take up a good chunk in a suitcase. So just a small blanket, something to get them through that first night, and then we will take them shopping the next day. Don't bring cleaning supplies. Once again, they can buy those once they are here. And again, many items can be purchased here, and we will be taking them shopping during the international orientation. My slides are not changing. There we go. Move-in day. Move-in day is August 13 for international students. We are asking people to please arrive at the Danforth University Center between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We do not have time slots like the general move-in. We just have people who are there ready to receive you. And the only hours that we are there is 9 a.m. to 4:30. We will not open our doors before that, and we will not have our doors open after that. And that is because we have to transition to the next part of the orientation experience. And the entire Danforth University Center needs to be reset for the next day. So unfortunately, we don't have capacity to admit people after 4:30 p.m. What you'll do is you'll check in, you'll receive all your materials, and that is your student ID card, your badge with your name on it. You will receive, or students will receive their keys to their rooms. Then once they are done receiving all of those things, they'll move all their belongings into the residence hall. You'll meet with other staff and the WU guides at that point in time. Please encourage your students to attend the welcome session that night. We do have activities where we put them with their groups. They will be decorating some team flags. So orientation starts on August 13th that night. Please do not take your students with you. Don't move them in and then take them to your hotel room to spend the night. The entire point of orientation is for them to find a community here. And if you are removing them from the experience, they're not going to receive the same experience as the other students who are participating fully the entire time. Um, our airport shuttles run from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's again, it's about a 30-minute-ish drive depending on traffic. So 30 minutes to get from the airport to campus. So we are accounting for that. So our first shuttle will be leaving the terminals. We do have one shuttle per terminal, so you don't have to shuttle between them. We just need to know your flight information for us to make sure that we are receiving you and expecting you at the time that you are arriving. Our orientation schedule is live on our website. That is the hyperlink right there. A very brief overview for parental purposes. August 13, once again, move-in and welcome events in the evening. We will have food on campus for people. So if you want to, let's say you get there right at 9 a.m., you move in, you then go shopping, do whatever you need to do. You bring your student back for lunch. We will have our police department will be cooking and giving out some free food for people there. We are also going to have food trucks in the evening, all free, all for all of you and your students to come and participate. And then our first orientation experience does happen at 6 p.m. That is for students only, not for parents, just for students. You are welcome to the food. You are not welcome at our experience because it is specific to the students. And again, we're trying to build that community and make sure that they get to meet other people and meet friends while they are here. The very next day, please come back. Come back to campus. We have a family and supporter brunch at 9 a.m. for you. That is an opportunity for you to meet administrators. It's an opportunity for you to meet other parents. It is a light breakfast, coffee, some small pastries, and fruit. It is not a heavy meal because we do the international welcome ceremony immediately afterwards. That is an hour-long presentation where we have speakers, we have presentations. Usually we will have performances at that experience as well. That is to get you and your students excited about the experience. And then immediately following up with that, we will serve you lunch. A lunch is a big, heavy meal. So we don't feed you very heavy in the morning because we feed you very heavy at lunch. After lunch, we ask that you please leave. Please leave your students on campus because we are transitioning fully to all of the activities that we have planned for them. So they will be meeting with other students. They'll be competing with other teams. It's really a fun experience. And again, on August 15th, we have activities for them all day. Please do not take your students. If you want to stay on campus and you want to participate in the other events that are happening during general move-in, like the tours and all that, don't take your students. We see this happen every single year. You take your students, they don't know what's going on, they get plugged back into the orientation schedule much later, and they don't know anybody, and their experience truly is not the same as someone who has been participating from day one on August 13th. So please, please, please don't take your students. We want them to participate. We want them to have a good time. And we really want to give them that important information that is related to just international students. You will see that our orientation experience happens before the general orientation. That is the biggest difference. We do focus on the international student experience to give them more resources and more time to be able to get settled at WashU, especially if they're fighting uh oh my gosh, what is it called? Jet lag and other things that they are experiencing as their first time. Mouse. Okay. All right. Some frequently asked questions that we get. Can I arrive early? Typically, I will say no. We do not have the capacity to move you into campus early. If your student is traveling by themselves, we can arrange something. We can get them a hotel on campus and then they can move in the very next day. We cannot move them into their dorm early. Unfortunately, as you saw, I have a team of 4 people. We do not have the capacity to move your students early. Can I arrive late? Exact same answer. There is only 4 of us. We do not have the capacity to move you in late. The other part of it is we want your student to have a really good experience while they move in. So during the 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., we have people there, we have food, we have all these wonderful things available for your student. We are not there after those hours. So they're going to arrive on campus. They're going to go to the police department. The police department is going to walk them to their res hall. And it's just a very sad experience and not the experience that we want for our students when they are moving in, when you are coming from a different country, when you are don't know anybody. We just don't have the capacity. And the entire point of our office is we want your students to have a good experience. If they arrive late, they are welcome to stay somewhere else. Again, we have a hotel on campus, and then they are able to move in during the general move in the next day, where all of those wonderful things that I talked about are happening all over again. So then they'll go through the general move-in process and they can get plugged into our international orientation at that point in time. But once again, they will be missing out on key experiences as part of it because we are moving forward in our program. Unfortunately, we can't stop for one student. We have to keep going. How do I select my move-in slot? If you are moving in during international move-in on August 13, we do not have move-in slots. You just need to arrive between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We do ask that you complete the registration form, which is in the WashU Pathways portal. Your student will have access to this. It is the exact same portal that they use to accept their admission to WashU. Please use that. Once they put all of their information in there, we will use that information to anticipate your arrival. If you do not do that and you show up on August 13th, I don't know who you are. I don't have things for you. So it is extremely important that your student completes that WashU Pathways registration form. And it is called International Orientation Registration. It is right there. Please complete it once you have your arrival plan so that we can better plan for your arrival. Another frequently asked question that we get is, I live abroad, but I'm a US citizen. Can I still participate? Yes, but there is an expectation that if you are coming and moving in at international orientation, that you are going to participate in international orientation. We have students that have lived abroad their entire lives, but they hold US citizenship. Many times those students identify more with the international students than they do with their domestic peers, and that is completely fine. You are more than welcome to attend our orientation. However, you are not considered an international student. Only the students who are coming in on F1 or J1 visas are considered international students. But again, you can participate. Then we get some other folks who still have US citizenship, but they usually spend more time in the United States than they have abroad. Those people may not find so much value in our orientation because, again, we are trying to acclimate our students to the US culture, getting them used to WashU, and really just helping them get a better move-in experience. So if that is your student, I would not recommend that they come to international orientation. We, again, are expecting that if you move in at international orientation, that you are participating in international orientation events. We don't want you to disappear. We don't want the students to disappear. We cannot take care of them if we don't know where they are. So if you're a US citizen, you identify more with the international experience, please come. We would love to have you. We just need you to participate in the events. Can parents use the shuttle? Technically, yes. Parents can use the airport shuttle. However, once you get to campus, we do not shuttle you anywhere else around. Okay. So if you need to go to the store, you need to do other things, you want to go sightsee, you are stuck on campus because we do not provide shuttles anywhere else. We provide a shuttle from the airport to campus. So if you have no plans of leaving campus, great, come use our shuttle. If you have plans of going shopping or you want to go sightsee, I would strongly recommend that you get a rental car at the airport and then use that to move around. If you are doing that, then don't encourage your student to use the shuttle because they can ride with you. Or if you want to rent a car and you want your students to use the shuttle and you'll meet them on campus, help them move in when that happens, that is completely fine as well. Just know that we will not have the capacity to shuttle you anywhere else once you get to campus. We are only moving people from the airport to campus from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Anytime outside of that, we don't have the capacity or ability to be able to do that. And we do get the very large Greyhound buses. So all of the suitcases and everything can go underneath the truck or the bus, and the people go riding on the top. So they are large, maybe 60 to 70 passenger buses that we rent. So we have capacity to move you. However, you need to know you can't go anywhere else with us after that. Do you provide banking? We do provide banking, not us directly. I am not a banker. We do partner with Bank of America, who will be on campus on August 13th, opening up bank accounts. They will be in the exact same location as the as move-in. So if you are interested in opening up a bank account, we do partner with Bank of America. They will be on campus that day. And they will be there 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on August 13th. So that should help get everything settled right away. Do you provide cell phones? Different question. We do not provide cell phones exactly. We do provide SIM cards for students. So we like this company. It's through Mint Mobile, technically. We do really like them because plans are typically anywhere between $10 to $15 a month. Um, you get a US phone number. You can typically use the phone that you are coming with. You just have to switch out the SIM card. So you could also keep your plan from home if you just keep your little SIM card, plug in the new SIM card, and it typically will give you a US phone number right away. So we do really like them. There is a digital version of it on our website. So if you want to get established with the US phone number early, you definitely can. If not, we are giving physical SIM cards at move-in as well. So that is an option that you have. And the typical or more common version, if you were to go with another large company, is phone plans start anywhere between $90 to $200 a month. You do need a social security number to open up a bank or a phone line that way. Typically, a lot of our students don't have social security numbers when they arrive. So we really like this company because they don't require any of that. You just plug it in, you pay for your plan, and you are good for that amount of time. Uh, so you may be asking yourself, why does orientation matter? Why do I need to send my student early? What is the whole point of this experience? We have surveyed our students for the last 3 years, but I will only share the feedback from 2024 and 2025 for both of these questions here. And the first question here is, to what extent have OISE orientation events and activities help you feel connected to the university community? In 2024, we had an 88% of our students who participated and answered this question gave us a positive response. And in 2025, we were able to get that number up to 96%. So that's a number that I'm very excited about. In 2026, we hope and expect those numbers to be similar. So we're very excited. And again, we put a lot of planning and a lot of care into the program that we provide for students. So this is a really great way to show that. Our second question that we ask students is, to what extent do you feel connected with peers you have met during orientation and other interactions throughout the summer? Because again, our WU guides are reaching out in the summer. In 2024, we had an 87% of our students had a positive response. And in 2025, 85% of our students gave a positive response. So those numbers are really great. And we want to keep this going. A lot of the WU guides who participate are actually students who just went through this in 2024 and 2025. So they are very passionate about creating a wonderful experience for the incoming class. So are we. We love orientation is a great time to be on campus. And lastly, some tips for a successful move-in. Please ask your student to check their WashU email regularly. We will be sending all the important information there. We are not going to be sending it to their personal emails. We are sending it to WashU email only. So if they are not checking it, they are not receiving the information and they are likely behind on all of the things that they need to be successful. So please have your student check their WashU email regularly. Another thing that creates a successful move-in, please complete the ID photo upload. The ID photo that students are required to upload goes on their student ID. The student ID is what helps you get into the buildings on campus. I cannot stress this enough. If you do not upload this photo, I do not have an ID for you at move-in, and you cannot get into your building. It's going to delay your ability to get into the building. It's going to make you angry. It's going to suck. So please, my whole thing is I want you to have a great move-in experience. And the way I could do that is by giving you this information. So many times we get students who will come in and say, I uploaded my photo. Here's my proof. And like, when did you upload it? 30 minutes ago. Not enough time. Not enough time. We have these ID cards weeks in advance. So you need to complete this photo ID weeks in advance so that we can get everything ready for you, so that we can easily give you all of the information and everything at check-in so that you can then move in directly into your dorm. If you don't follow the directions, I will not have a good experience for you, unfortunately. One thing that we see very often, a lot of students get digital keys on their phones through the Res Life team. One thing that we've experienced for the last couple of years is a lot of students will have, let's say if you have an Apple phone, a lot of students will have the country code or the country of origin on their app store will still be your country back at home. Unfortunately, the app with the key for your room is a US based country and it doesn't work. For example, I will use China. It doesn't work with the China App Store. So you do need to create a new Apple ID that is in the country of the United States for you to be able to download that app for you to access your dorm. So keep that in mind. We have a lot of people who get very frustrated when this happens, and that is usually the case. You will start getting a lot of emails from Res Life saying, here's your key, create your account, create your account. Please create it in the country of the United States. It will make your transition so much smoother. And then when you get here, you can just change your app store to the United States, and you should be able to access your room through that Res Life Key app. Strongly encourage your students to connect with their orientation leaders and the orientation team, which is mine, early. The more that they get connected with us, the more information we can share, the more time that they're going to enjoy while they are here. Another tip I would say is bring an adapter for your devices. Your app or your charger for your devices may not be compatible with the outlets here in the United States. Bring a universal adapter. It'll change your whole world and it will delay your ability to get into your dorm. If you buy it on Amazon, it's maybe $10, $15, but bring it with you. Don't order it once you are already here. Bring it with you so that very first day you are able to plug in, your phone isn't dying, your laptop isn't dying, you are successful in your ability to get into your dorm and stay in your dorm. lastly, I will say get plenty of rest, both you and your student. Orientation is a very, very long experience. It's about 2 weeks long. And every single day, there is a very, very long day starting sometimes from 8 a.m., going all the way to 10 p.m. So it is a very long experience for students. So get plenty of rest while you are coming and hydrate. Hydrate is very important. Hydration is very important when you're here because it is typically very, very hot. We've gotten lucky the last few years in that it hasn't been so warm, but it's very humid here. I can't tell you how many times we have a lot of our students from colder countries or more tropical countries. They will come and they will say, I thought I knew heat, but then I came to St. Louis and I didn't know heat. So it is a very warm, humid climate here in the summer. So please be prepared for that. Bring your fans, bring hats, and get plenty of rest and hydrate. It's very, very important. We don't want anybody, parents and family and students, we don't want anybody getting dehydrated. It's not a good time that way.
Well, thank you, Evelyn. We do have a couple of questions that have come in the Q&A. Um, One of or two questions, and I'm also reading questions that were submitted in the registration. So we got two questions, and I know that you already covered it, but just they're asking if their student or their child is coming after registration has closed in terms of move-in. What are their options in terms of getting from the airport to a hotel or the airport to campus?
Typically, again, what we, and I see this question too, I will share our website here and all the information, including I'll put it in the chat. Um, all the if you can get a cell phone provider, you can Uber is a very common way of transporting yourself here in St. Louis. A lot of students Uber, a lot of our undergrad and our grad students will get an Uber and go wherever they need. We do have, I would strongly encourage you to do this early. We do have a hotel on campus. It's called the Charles F. Knight Center. They don't have a lot of availability in August, especially around this time, because a lot of people move in. But if you know that your student is going to be arriving late, if you know that your student is going to be arriving early, just get a room there. There's also a few hotels around campus that are safe in good areas that you can send them there and then just have them move in through the regular process after that. But I put in the chat our orientation website. At the very, very bottom, it says Campus Sims. That is the organization that we partner with, and the link is right there. Once you could connect it to that link, sorry, once we get connected to that link, you are able to access the US phone number. I would not recommend that you get it right now. I would say get it closer to the beginning of August. So that way you are prepared and ready for them to land and they could just plug in into that US phone number and immediately start using it. The hotel on campus is available to all people. It is not student specific. So if you want to get that, Ariel put it in the chat here. It's the Charles Knight Hotel, and that is the Knight Center. They do have rooms available for people to stay. I would strongly encourage that you do that sooner rather than later because they do fill up. They are not a giant hotel chain. They are just a very small hotel within our business school. So they maybe have about 70 rooms total. So as you can imagine, there are 2,000 students moving in during the week of August 13, 14, 15. So if you know that you're going to be needing a room, I would strongly encourage you to do that sooner rather than later. I do see another question here that says, are physical keys to the dorm rooms available? Some dorms, it depends on the dorm. Some dorms do have physical keys. However, it is the university's goal to move away from physical room keys. Unless it is for religious purposes, then they will make exceptions at that point in time. But it is the goal of the university to move digital, to everything being an app. So we will not have, if that room, if the dorm that your student is moving into is a dorm that hasn't been converted to a digital key, I do not have physical room keys for you, unfortunately. So please plan ahead.
There was, so Evelyn, to the first question though about late arrivals, there was another question to that in terms of airport pickup. So I do also want to remind parents that if you are booking a hotel because you're arriving early, check in with the hotel to see if they have airport shuttles that can take either you and your family or your child if they're coming in by themselves to the hotel. And that also includes if they're arriving early. There were a number of families last year who came in maybe a day prior, the night before, and they just took the shuttle back to back to the airport and joined the OISE campus shuttle. So there are
Yep.
some options, but to Evelyn's point, if you're coming after the move-in registration closes, it is the student's responsibility to find transportation to campus.
Yep.
Um, Another question that was entered in the registration, Evelyn, um, is asking, is it possible for two parents to enter campus at the same time? Um, it seems like, okay, sorry, let me just read the question. Um, is it possible for two parents to enter the campus at the same time when international students move into the dormitory to help them carry their luggage and daily necessities? And then is there a limit on the number of parents allowed to enter the school? Um, yeah.
No, there is no limit to the amount of people. If you want to bring you if you want to bring your two parents, five kids, your grandma, your grandpa, you can bring all of them if you want to. And we have seen that. A lot of people do bring their grandparents with them, even at move-in. The only thing that we ask, and this is necessary, is that you register every single one of those people because we do need to know who is coming on campus, but there is not a limit to how many people you can bring on campus. Um, by registering all those people, then it makes sure that I have enough food for all those people. So it is extremely important that you register every single person that is coming with you. Even if you overestimate and just say, I think my student's grandparent is going to come, register them because I would rather have more food than less food for you and your family. So yes, there's no limit. Yes, you can go into the dorm with your student. Siblings can go in there as well. We want you to see where they are living. Our whole point is we want you as a parent and as your students to have a great move-in experience. So we just need to have this information from you before you can move in and do all of the things.
And Evelyn, can you, I know that you also share this in the presentation, but can you talk more about just the move-in experience in terms of, I know that you have volunteers who also help students move in. So even if your child is coming by themselves, what kind of support do they have in terms of getting all of their stuff to the dorms for families that won't be able to attend with them?
Well, I have a meeting to discuss that with the Rest Life team in a couple of days. But I can give you a very brief overview of what we think it's going to look like. Every single year, it looks a little bit different. But this year, once they come to the Danforth University Center, we'll be able to, we will tag their luggage. A team of movers is going to move their luggage to their dorm, and then someone from my team will walk the student to their dorm, and get them from the Danforth University Center all the way to their dorm, and then get their suitcases and everything back up or to the room where they are living in. Once they are there, they have free time, if that makes sense. You have free time to decorate your room, take a nap, get settled in. It is completely up to you. We will have lunch starting around 1 p.m., and that's going to be on the South 40. And our police department will be cooking some halal chicken and some hot dogs for people to really come and just sit down, experience that, get connected with other students. Once that is done, we will, again, free time again. And the last thing that we have for that evening is the 6 p.m. soft orientation welcome for the students only. So we will meet in a different building at that point, and then we'll transition to the students meeting their other orientation participants in their group and their Ru guides during that time. But that's what it's going to look like. We will take care of the suitcases all the way from the airport into the shuttle, get it to your room, and then make sure that your student has everything that they need to be able to get into their room. And if they're there early, they can just come hang out. If they are getting there barely on time, then we're going to have to rush them into the next part of our orientation experience. But to Ariel's point, if you are able to change your flight so that they are there early, I would strongly encourage you to do so. If it's not too expensive, obviously. Help get them there early so that they have just more time to transition. If it is completely out of the question and there are no flights into St. Louis, what a lot of people and a lot of students tend to do is they will fly in on August 12th and they have like a whole day to kind of recover, and then what we tell them to do is get a airport shuttle back to the airport, and then we will put them on our shuttle to go to campus, or they can Uber directly to campus. But it's one less expense if you just send them back to the airport, where a lot of the airport hotels, also safe areas. A lot of those airport hotels have shuttles that go directly back to the airport. So if you are able to have your student, if they are traveling on their own, have your student arrive on August 12th, even if they get there on August 11th, just get them there early. They can hang out at the hotel. They can just take some time to take a break and sleep, get over that jet lag to be able to start fresh on August 13th. They can get there early. They don't have to get there right at 8:30 when the first shuttle. If they want to sleep in a little bit, they can come at noon, completely up to them. We just need to know that they're going to use the shuttle. So again, strongly encourage your students to please register for the international orientation through the WashU pathways. Um,
Another question, sorry, one last question for the registration. And it's asking about express delivery to campus in advance. Are you aware of any courier services that can, if parents want to send items?
I believe that is on the Res Life pages, if I am not mistaken. However, I do think I don't know of any courier specifically. I know that students are not allowed to send things to campus until a very specific date. So that might be a better question for the Res Life team, but it is online somewhere. It is online somewhere. And it's not even because you're not allowed to, it's that your students are currently going through the background process of making sure that we have all of their information. So their mailboxes just haven't been set up yet until a specific day. Once that specific day opens up, you are welcome to send anything that you need. They'll just need to know their campus mailbox number so that it is directly tied to them. And that is actually a really good point. That is another reason why we strongly encourage you to get there earlier in the day rather than later, because the mailroom does close around 4 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. I don't remember the exact time. If you arrive after that, the mailroom is not an office that I can lead. It's not an office that I have control of. Once they are closed, and you cannot get your stuff the next day. So, for example, we've had a lot of people send their bedding and all these things to campus, but then they get there at 5:30, so everything is closed, and they don't have any sheets, they don't have any blankets, they don't have any pillows for their very first night on campus. So it's not exactly a great experience for them. And I am not able, my team does not have the capacity to go to the mailroom and pick up the mail. They also don't let us because we are not your student, and we are not you. So we would strongly encourage you, once again, send your students a little bit early, get there early, have the whole day to just move in, get whatever you need, and that way you are not rushed. What a lot of people will do is, again, get there early and just enjoy the rest of the day before the craziness of orientation happens. So please, I cannot stress this enough. Get there
Yeah.
early.
And Evelyn, you reminded me. So I put for the person who asked that question in the chat, I did find the webpage. It's on the New Students webpage. So the Office of Student Transitions, who hosted this webinar for parents, they have a wonderful website that has a lot of information. If you have not visited it, I definitely recommend that you do that. They have information about orientation, but they also have information about how to prepare for your arrival. And one of the pages that they have dedicated is how to ship items to campus. So that the link that I put is specifically for shipping items to campus, but here is their general website, the newstudents.washu.edu. There's another question asking how to reserve a room on campus, on the campus hotel. Um, the third to last link that I added into the chat, the Charles Knight Hotel, that is the link that Evelyn mentioned in terms of the on-campus hotel that has limited availability. But if you click on that link, Charles Knight Hotel, you can see what the availability is as well as the cost. It is right on campus. It is very convenient for many students and even families because you're right at the center of campus. You literally just walk out the building and you're on our quad.
I
Um,
will say, because you are staying at a campus, it is loud. We had this complaint one year that we were doing an event at 10 p.m. and people were mad that there was music, but it is orientation. There are excited people all over campus, so just keep that in mind. If you are a light sleeper, maybe staying on campus is not it for you, and that's okay.
That's a fair question. That's a fair comment. So we have one more question in the chat, and it's asking if my daughter's US visa interview can only be scheduled as late as September, and we've heard that emergency visa appointment requests may be denied. What does the school recommend if she is unable to attend the first few weeks of classes in August? Um, so this is a great question. If you have any delays in terms of scheduling a visa appointment, um, our recommendation is that you try to schedule the soonest appointment that you can, even if that means that it's late August, early September, and then notify OISS as well as the Office for Student Transitions. Um, in terms of late arrivals, that does have to be approved by the university. So it is very helpful if your student can notify us of when they've been able to get their visa appointment, and then to see if, depending on what day they have their appointment and the likelihood of receiving their visa stamp, the earliest they can arrive into the US. They may either be asked to come in late, or depending on the date, defer their admission. But that's why it's so important that if you're not able to schedule a visa interview until August or September, please contact OISS as well as the Office of Student Transition so that we can talk through what options are available. We definitely recommend that you're contacting the U.S. Embassy to see about expedited appointments. There are some circumstances in which it can be expedited, but you have to talk to the U.S. Embassy to see what options those could be. But again, the most important thing is please communicate those dates with OISS as well as with the Office for Student Transitions.
And I just want to iterate one more time that your late arrival for visa purposes or anything else does require approval from the student transitions and engagement team, and they have a application form, and that then goes to me and it goes to OISS as well. So if that is something that you already know, please email and we will get that form to you. And I do want to just plug in really fast here. If you do have any questions about orientation or anything else as far as the student transition process, please email us at oise@woostel.edu. That is the general inbox that we have for our team. We do not have people who check it on the weekends and after hours. We are a 9 to 5 office. We are a 9 to 5 office, and we will respond to you as soon as we can, but within that 9 to 5 frame. So that is all that I have. I'll stop sharing here. That's all that I have. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending and for your questions. They were fantastic. And we look forward to seeing you and your students in August. We are so excited to have you all.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great day. Have a great night, depending on where you are in the world.
Wherever you are, have a great thing.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.